So most of the problems that I see with second chance bird dogs are problems that could have been avoided if we started right here. This can solve a lot of problems. And the first one we're going to talk about is crate training. Every single dog that I get, and I can say that with confidence, almost every single dog that I get has never spent a day in a crate. And everybody tells me, I don't want to put him in that. He's so cute, and why do I want to do that? I'm never going to have my dog in a crate. And that's great. If you never have to have your dog in a crate, that's great. But if I die today, something happens to me, I got 15 dogs at home. I'm going to pick 15 of you out of this room to take one of my dogs to take care of Mike's dogs, because he had these dogs, and we're going to help his wife out. So Terry's going to take a dog home, Kevin's going to take a dog home, and you guys are taking my dogs home. You go to put him in a crate, and he's sitting there barking and scratching and clawing. And that dog 2 weeks ago took a metal crate and folded it in half in 2 minutes. I did it just for the fun of it to see. I mean, those wire crates, I hate those things. And a lot of people use them, and that if your dog goes in that, you got a good freaking dog. Because 9 times out of 10, the dogs won't go in them. If you put a dog in a crate with all the little wires that he can see through, it's like, yeah, confine me to one area, but let me see everything going on around me. I don't know, it's not good. Dogs don't like that. So I like these crates right here. You know, the Rufflin kennel is a little cheaper one. That's a great one. The Gunner kennel, I have those because dogs like Boone need those because they're bulletproof. But that dog 2 weeks ago would be in there clawing at the door, scratching, pawing, trying to get out. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't do that I think can solve a lot of issues. You see how Boone is sitting there quiet? Because he's learned, I'm in my space, this is my safe place, and I'm going to be here. Dogs are den creatures. They come from wolves, right? How many of you ever seen a pack of wolves or coyotes sitting in the middle of a cut hayfield with their babies? It doesn't happen. They're made to be in a den. That's where they feel comfortable. And that's the way most dogs feel comfortable. So every dog I get goes through that same process. I have an office in my home, up in the upstairs. My wife loves it because every week there's a new dog in there, right? And I open the office door, I put a Gunner kennel in there, in the crate you go, first night. And they might bark a little, they might fuss a little, but once I know, and I'm fairly confident, that I know the dog knows what he's supposed to do, and I know the dog knows he's supposed to be calm in there, I use these right here. And this is a simple bark collar. So this has a vibrate function on it, so you're not shocking the dog, or it has a shock function. And this goes up to number 10. I have never, ever, ever had to move this above a number 1. Usually number 1 is all it works with this thing. And this isn't by sound. This has got a little sensor right here that goes in the dog's neck, and it senses when the dog barks. So dogs like Boone, 2 weeks ago, he went in the office, he went in the Gunner kennel. He started barking. I looked at him and said no. You can only say no so many times, it doesn't do anything. So I put this on him. I put it on vibrate. And for 3 nights straight, he sat in that kennel with this on vibrate. And every time he'd bark, it'd vibrate, and he'd, oh, yep, I can't do that. And he'd learn. Every one of my dogs gets one of these on their neck at some point or another. You don't keep these on the dogs 24 hours a day. That's not how it works. But a dog's going nuts. He's going crazy. He needs this. He needs this to learn to sit down, be calm, and relax. And there's lots of tools like this that are out nowadays that a lot of people don't like to use because they think for some reason it's going to hurt the dog. But this right here, if I didn't have these, I have 15 dogs at home. If I didn't have these, I live 1.5 miles off the road. I got deer everywhere, bunny rabbits everywhere. The deer, for some reason, love to lay beside their kennels every single night. And when you got 9 wire hairs out there, that it's in their blood to track and kill fur, and you got baby deer laying outside their kennel, you're not getting to sleep without these, okay? And this is the Dogtra YS 600, right, Kevin? YS 600. I love these things. Big tool. So crate training. Crate training teaches a dog to stay calm in one spot, be quiet, and it helps him keep secure. Every time I leave a house, if I have a dog inside, he goes in the crate. And we grew up with a bird dog that was okay in the house without being in the crate, but I wouldn't trust half of my dogs to roam around my house without a crate. It's mandatory for me now. We go in the truck, and my dogs are in a crate. Now, Terry, your dogs are 40 pounds tops?
Might be about almost 50.
Almost 50, but they're smaller Brittany's. I've never seen Terry's dogs in the crate. Not to give you crap, Terry, but never seen his dogs in a crate. But his dogs are small. Terry, would you drive with him in a crate?
No,
yeah. Yeah, he'd be right in the crate. I'm not going to have a 100-pound wire hair run across my lap while I'm driving down the road because he sees a bunny rabbit, right? So every time I drive down the road, they're in the crate because that's just, I feel safer and more secure with that. If I had cute dogs like Terry, they'd probably be on my lap and I'd be petting them. But, you know, I don't have cute dogs. I got big dogs. So they go in the crate when we drive down the road. It's mandatory for me. That, and I've got 3 or 4 of them. I can fit 3 kennels in the back of my truck, 2 more side by side in the back seat. So they go in the crates. It keeps them safe. It keeps me safe. Helps them to stay calm. Another thing that I use with every new dog coming in, and I work at a machine shop, so I make my own tie-out stakes, right? So this is a tie-out stake with a clasp on it and short little piece of lead. And I got to take this apart to put this on. This is a new one. But this short little piece of lead goes on here just like this, and this end goes on the dog. You say, man, it's a really short leash. Exactly. I want that dog to sit down in the yard. I pound this into the ground, and he's just tall enough, he can stand up and he can hold this on his collar. He can't move this way. He can't move this way. He can go around in a circle if he wants. He can lay down. He can sit down, but he needs to learn to sit there and be calm. And I have a chain gain that's 30 feet long that goes from one end to the other, and it's got 5 of these attached to it. And every dog that I train for the night goes out on that chain gain. They get tied up, and they need to sit there and they need to be calm. If they're going to bark, they get a bark collar. If they're going to yip, they get a bark collar. If they're going to whine, they get a bark collar. You need to sit there and be calm. And I will have birds flying 25 feet above those dogs. And every one of them, within 2 weeks to learn, this is what I do. I sit here and I watch the birds. Because in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, when that dog comes to get tied back up, my butt starts wagging because I'm next. So every dog I get learns to be on one of these. And another thing people hate doing, everybody that drops a dog off to me, I don't want them to be tied up. Every dog that drop off, I remember when they dropped Boone off, or not Boone, what's his name? Boomer. When they dropped Boomer, I've had too many dogs. So Ralph's got one of my dogs, Boomer. When Boomer's owners dropped him off, bless their heart, they were the best people in the world. They loved him, but they spoiled him rotten. And I walked over to the yard, and I had one of these in the yard, and I put it on there, and the look on her face, you would have thought I just shot that dog in the head. Like, she probably would have rather seen me shoot the dog in the head than put him on this leash. I mean, it was just, she's like, really? I said, yeah. I said, he's going to learn. Well, he's never been in a crate before either. He'll learn. He's never had an e-collar on. He'll learn. It's mandatory. He's going to be a bird dog. He's got to learn.